Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have me douse, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud. It be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
Showtime.
Welcome to Friday Night Lights. I'm your host, Mikey, and as always, riding the shotgun. My boy Tommy, what's going on, brother?
What is going on, Mr. Mikey? Happy Friday to you. And man, let's hope this weekend's a better one, huh?
Yes. Some news dropped this week.
Okay, all right.
I know you've done some work on this, but our offensive coordinator got fired, and we have a new offensive coordinator.
Oh, what?
You know, does that surprise anybody?
Yeah, kind of. I didn't think McDermott would have the balls, and I think it was something that he should have done weeks ago. But is it too late? Is it a little too late right now to make that decision, considering we're 5-5, and this probably should have been, like I said, happened weeks ago, and maybe this spark could have happened, or at least Joe Brady could have at least gotten his team up to speed on what he wanted to do. Because let's face it, Mikey, 7 games remaining. It's going to be the same offense. You can't just overnight have a new offense. It doesn't work that way. So what can he do in 7 games realistically? He could call a better play, call better plays, right? But the play designs are probably going to be the same, right? So it's really a matter of what he could sprinkle in, I guess, week to week, as far as game planning goes. But overall, it's going to be the same playbook. I mean, there's really going to be no difference in the playbook, except for a few things sprinkled in, I think. And obviously, the play calling itself will be better.
The future,
right? Few
tweaks. You'll probably see more motion. You'll see.
Correct.
You have to remember, this playbook is a vast playbook. So maybe some of the plays that we don't like that 15-yard out to Hardy that Josh has been picked on 3 times or 4 times this year, will go away. You know, maybe we'll see some more of what we did against Miami, where we saw a lot of motion and misdirection. You know, maybe we'll pull in a little bit more of what we did against the Buccaneers and run Gabe on some slants and some quick passes, and not just use them, 25, 30 yards downfield. You know, there's a lot of nuances to this offense that we just haven't used that has worked, that he just tends to go away from it for whatever reason.
Right.
You know, whether it's Josh not liking it. Well, you know what, Josh? Get comfortable, buddy. You're going to be uncomfortable a little bit. We're 5-5. The season's on a brink. We're gonna go with shit that actually works rather than what you're just comfortable with.
Right.
If that's the conversation you have to have, that's the conversation you have. Was it Josh? Was it I'll tell you, listening to Josh's comments, after Dorsey got fired, I have a feeling it wasn't that Josh didn't, said, no, I don't like that. I don't want to do that. I think he was such good friends with Dorsey that he had full trust in him, and he just ran what Dorsey called.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you heard what he said. I just got that vibe that, it wasn't like, okay, whatever that's a dumb play. I'm going to check out of it. I have feelings like, okay, I have full trust in Dorsey. And, that could be part of the reason why, there's been a lot of splintering in the locker room as well. Is Josh was so behind Dorsey because of his relationship with him, and the other guys weren't.
I don't know. It seemed like they all. The only one that didn't seem super upset was Gabe Davis, but I felt like Diggs was kind of upset that Dorsey's leaving. He backed him. So I don't. Maybe some of the locker room is a little torn or have different thoughts about how Dorsey ran the offense. but it seemed like Allen and Diggs were all good with Dorsey. So I think they just sometimes emotions play a part of it too. So like you got to remember, like Dorsey was there since 2019. He got there. He was Josh's quarterback coach. He was a big reason why Josh Allen has had his success. While he got better as a quarterback, probably as a person, who knows? Like I'm sure Dorsey had a big part of that, played a big part of that. So of course emotions are going to play a little bit part of this as well. It sucks to see anyone get fired. And I like Dorsey. By the way, I like Dorsey. I still think he's a smart dude. I just think he took on a role that maybe just wasn't for him. Maybe right now, maybe in the future, he can get better and wherever he goes next, he can learn before he takes that role on again. But, just like head coaches, like certain coaches go from offensive coordinator to try to be a head coach and it just doesn't work out. Sometimes it's not for everybody. And I just think maybe that might be the case when it comes to Ken Dorsey, but that doesn't make him like a terrible person or an idiot or anything like that. He's our excellent quarterback coach. And I think that's played a role in why Allen wanted him to stick around. Maybe he felt like, he could get better at being offensive coordinator. And maybe he felt like it was his problem. Like he made, this happen as far as like him getting fired. But I mean, he didn't help. Let's be honest. I'm sure some of the players, they didn't execute either, but this had to happen. It had to happen. It was too late, matter of fact, but it had to happen.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I'm in the chat. Spence like Tim Settle didn't have a problem with Dorsey getting fired. He signed this. I know. The fan signed this and fired Dorsey. He did too. That was,
Well, he's a defensive player, so of course the defensive side of things are gonna always. They don't give a shit about the offensive side of it. They don't. They just want us scoring. I get that.
Get ready for McDermott and Brady butting heads. So before we jump into more of this, let's quickly go around the league. Jason put in here last night there was some major injuries. Joe Burrow done for the year, torn wrist ligament. Wild, man.
Early.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it happened during the game, if he had a bad wrist going into the game or what. But man, when he threw that ball, the look on his face said it all. You knew something bad happened.
Yeah, it was wild, man. It was early on, second quarter, I believe. And it was a touchdown pass, I believe, as well.
To put him in the lead.
And I was like, at first, I thought it was like the finger. Like, I didn't know at first because remember, he had that finger thing against us. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe who knows? You know what I mean? Like, you never know. So, but then when he was working, warming up on a sideline or at least trying to throw a ball and he just like limped it, it's like, you knew there was a problem. You knew it was a big problem. It was weird though when he came back out, he had nothing on his hand. No
wrap, nothing.
No, nothing. So it was just like, oh, okay, like what's going on here? It was the oddest thing, and then boom, out for the season. It's just. But guys, you see what I mean? By man, little things like that can happen, and it was a non-contact injury. I mean, as far as we know, now it could have been a contact injury.
The play before.
Got hit. Right, or the game before. Yeah, you never know.
Well, the play before that, he got smashed by Clowney, and he went down.
Maybe. Okay,
so it could have been that.
Landed on it. Yeah,
dude. Like you see people run. Like Trey White had no ankle problems whatsoever. He stepped wrong and popped his Achilles.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah,
like it happens all the time. Kirk Cousins the same thing this year. So you see that stuff happen all the time. ACLs that way, non-contact, stepping wrong. He threw 100%. The ball and his wrist ligament went.
Right.
Also, Mark Andrews, big injury loss for the Ravens.
Out
fractured ankle. Yeah, fractured ankle.
That's rough, huh?
Yeah. Also, OBJ got hurt, his shoulder.
Really? He was having a good game too, right?
He was, and then at the end, but he had his shoulder pads off and he had like something on it, a harness on his left shoulder. He got crunched. He got crunched. Dude, Logan Wilson brings the boom when he hits you. Because he's the one who he's the one who hit Andrews. He hit Lamar when he hurt Lamar's ankle because Lamar was limping around yesterday too with an ankle injury. And then he's the one who hit OBJ. Like every time he hit somebody, they got hurt.
Right.
That was Wyoming Cowboys. They bring that that boom. But other things that are going around. Jets Wilson, and we'll talk about this when we do the thing more. But he's gonna play with despite the elbow injury. His elbow's jacked up. Did you see that the Browns are bringing in Flacco?
No, I did not see that. That's interesting. Joe Flacco. When's the last time?
Because Deshaun Watson's out for the year.
He broke his shoulder last week. My God, what a that's winding up to be probably the worst trade and signing in NFL history.
Oh, they're saying Burrow injured his wrist against the Texans. That sucks.
Okay.
What's going on, Beth? Yeah. So then going down, Ron Rivera. Just quickly on the Washington. Do you think his job's on the line? He thinks it's not.
You would think. I mean, my God, what has he done? I mean, when was the last time he's done something, Ron Rivera, in general? Like,
Super Bowl year?
It's been a long time, right?
Yeah, his Super Bowl year with Carolina.
Right. I mean,
he's had losing records since.
Yeah, so I don't get the whole. Certain coaches, I gotta say, certain coaches, boy, they get a lot of benefit of the doubt, boy. You know, certain coaches get fired mighty quickly, but guys like Rivera, Marvin Lewis, like guys that stick around when they shouldn't. Sean McDermott. Yeah, by the way, it might be a Sean. That might be we're going to be talking about like Ron Rivera, like we're talking about Sean McDermott. You know what I mean? Like, just saying.
You know, yeah, that's one thing. And Spen, yeah, Wilson, the first two he landed on their ankles. The one where he hit OBJ, he hit him hard from behind. OBJ didn't see him coming, and he smashed him.
Yeah.
And I was joking when I said, he brings the boom. Like every guy he hit got, he had 3 tackles last night, all 3 of them. He actually think he had more than that, but that defense didn't look all that great. Made you wonder, like, what the hell is wrong with the Bills' offense? I've watched the Texans and the Ravens just go up and down the field on that freaking defense, man. That's frustrating as shit.
Trust me, bro. I have no idea. We make even our defense makes quarterbacks look great. You know what I mean? Like that shit. It's weird. We're a weird team, bro. We're a weird team, man. Like every time we go into a game, I notice like the Buffalo Bills, they'll always say something like the announcers, the whatever team we're playing, the Texans are the worst team against the run, and they'll fucking gash us all night. Like,
yeah, I know.
It's the oddest fucking thing. Or Mac Jones has the worst, completion percentage.
He's been benched twice in the last, and he went like 24 of 31 and had a game-winning drive against us, and he's been benched twice.
It's like this team has the worst 3rd down conversion rate. They're fucking 9 for 10 against, fourth. Like they never had a 4th down conversion. Fucking 5 for 5 against us. It's like, bro, we can't win sometimes. This is like
we can't get the quarterback down.
It's craziness.
We can't get the quarterback down. We'll get there, and we just can't tackle. Oh, so frustrating.
It's very
it's so frustrating.
Drives me fucking bonkers, man.
So, okay. So let's transition away from league news and back to the Bills. Coming off of press conferences, Joe Brady's press conference. What was your take on Joe Brady's press conference?
I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I'm optimistic. He made me, a little optimistic on maybe what he can bring to this team. But once again, though, I got to see it. I can't. I'm skeptical. I'm always skeptical when it comes to the Buffalo Bills, and coaching in general. So he sounded good. Like everything, I like what he said. He seems like an honest guy. Like, hey, this is who I am, blah, blah, blah. Like, but I'll be honest. I don't know much about him. I'm not going to pretend like I do. What I do know is obviously he had a great college career as far as being a coach assistant, under Burrow. He led them, championship, but then he had a little rough patch when he got into the NFL with the Saints. I know he was like an assistant there.
Well, he was assistant before LSU.
No, I know, but I'm saying
Saints, and then he went to
the
Carolina.
Saints, right? That's what I mean. So,
Yeah.
well, Saints first, right? And then I think he was in
LSU,
and then he went to Carolina, right? So Carolina was the rough patch.
That team was bad. That team was.
I know it was bad. I get that, but either way, we can argue Brian Dable was on bad teams and he always got fired, and and so, you know what I mean? So, and I still think Brian Dable, but so either way, I get it though, and I'll give him that pass because obviously they had a rough, McCaffrey had only 3 games played that year in 20. I think it was, I forget what year was 20. What year was that? 2020. But either way, he got fired in 2021. Mm-hmm. And his offense wasn't the best. I think they were like 25th or something like that. But we'll see. Once again, though, Mikey, what's the worst that can happen? We suck even more. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that big of a deal for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's worth the gamble, right? It's worth the experiment. Worst case, he sucks. Now, I will say this, though. I do worry about a little bit. Let's say he doesn't totally suck, but he's not the greatest either. And we don't make the playoffs, but we win a few games. Let's just say hypothetically. And McDermott keeps him. Let's say he does. And then we go down this road again where he's another Dorsey, where it's just we're finding our way on offense, very conservative because he's a McDermott guy, went to the same college. You know what I mean? He's under the same kind of Carolina thing. You know what I mean? I know he wasn't there when Carolina went McDermott, but still, you get where I'm going with this. Like, I kind of worry that there'll be an OC out there for our taking, and McDermott will go, no, we're good with Brady. Let's stay in-house when he could probably go outside and get a better OC. That's where I'm a little bit nervous when it comes to this Brady situation. Now, if Brady comes in and we go on a roll, and I'm like, okay, and I'm feeling it, and we're all going, hey, okay, whoa, okay, I could be down for that. Give him a year or two to see what he could do with a full off season. But if it's so-so or doesn't look good or continues the same, we re-sign him for another year or two, I'm going to be really disappointed.
I don't think we will. I think he's going to have to, and I don't want the Mafia, and they're going to do this, but I don't want the Mafia to judge Brady off of this week. He had a short week against a really good defense. You
want to talk about a test that you weren't prepared for, right? Like that you literally your
bitch, here you go.
Yeah, that your fucking teacher just laid down this fucking this assignment. You got to turn this bitch in 2 days.
Yep.
And you haven't studied at all, right? Yep. Or you have 2 days. Oh my God. Right. And it's the hardest test of the year. Right. It's just like, so I agree. But I will say this. Hey, you want it? You got it. Here it is. Let me see what you got right out the fucking gate. So we'll see. Ain't gonna be easy.
Scott Blakely, the return of optimistic Scott Blakely. Did he get hacked? Here we go. We're gonna end up 12-5. He thinks we're going on a 7-game roll right here.
I like it, Scott. Hey, I did some video, and I think Scott was like, it made him change his mind.
He listen. Scott didn't like the Dorsey hire at the beginning, though. Like, he's never been a Dorsey guy.
Okay, that's fair. Listen, I'm not going to argue that. I get why. I think Mafia was torn on that one.
Jason, I don't think it's the QB coach to OC, because you see that happen all the time with a lot of
it happens a lot.
Kevin O'Connell did it, Sean McVay did it, Shanahan did it. You go down to a lot of these. Taylor did it. Like, you go,
And not only that, it happens in other sports too. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at Coach Spo for Miami. He was a fucking film guy.
Yep.
He wasn't even a fucking assistant coach, and he winds up winning a championship. So my point is, if you are smart enough, you think you got it, and your coaching staff, your head coach believes in you, then they're going to take the role on you. But a lot of guys start off like that. So no, I listen. He paid his dues. Like, Ken Dorsey was a quarterback coach in Carolina and led them to a Super Bowl with Cam Newton, and Cam Newton gave him high praise. Matter of fact, Ken Dorsey was wanted by a lot of teams and was getting potential coaching jobs, like interviews. So it wasn't just us that liked Ken Dorsey or thought Ken Dorsey could be really good. So I want to just say that, like, it wasn't a Bills, like only the Bills believed in Ken Dorsey.
He's getting head coaching interviews last season.
That's what I'm saying. So I feel like a lot of teams and a lot of fan bases as well, before we signed Ken Dorsey, if you guys remember, before we made it official, yes, there was a lot of fan bases like wanted Ken Dorsey to go there as their OC or head coach. I'm telling you guys, I saw it all on Twitter. So it wasn't just like a Bills thing. Ken Dorsey was, he's known around the league for helping quarterbacks, being a smart guy. It is what it is. It didn't work out. I'm just mad that McDermott was so stubborn and didn't make the change weeks ago when he saw the writing on the wall. And not only that, if you go and watch McDermott's press conference, and he was talking about the offense from the start of the season, really, he kind of said the only week that was really fluent and good was the Dolphin game. Yeah. So it's like, so basically you're saying you knew the offense sucked
for 10 weeks. For 10 weeks.
Except for one fucking game. You couldn't even go, God damn, okay, it's not working. Like, you could have made that choice, that selection after at least 2 games after the Giants game, somewhere around there. But no, you wait and you get mad at reporters for even asking if you're going to make a change, right? And then he makes a change 2 weeks later.
Jets family owns you. Okay, Randall.
Yeah, I doubt
Okay.
That.
Okay.
Oh, but you're playing good defensively.
Yeah. Offensively, they haven't scored a touchdown in like 12 quarters.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't get
it's like 3. So it's been almost 3 games since they scored a touchdown.
But of course, we'll allow the touchdown.
Yeah, we will. Yeah,
because that's what we do. So
Goldberg's next. Hated the accountant hothead friends of Josh Allen. Big mistake. I called it. Sorry, I'm wrong most of the time. This time, Josh focused on releasing the offense. Vaughn focuses on defense. At the end of the day, everyone says this was Josh Allen's pick. Josh Allen had a say. He voted for Dorsey. At the end of the day, it falls on McDermott and what he wants to do. McDermott wanted Dorsey too. Like, he was the pass game coordinator, putting him as the next person in line. That was always the succession plan, was for Dorsey to go after Daboll got a head coaching job. Just like Joe Brady was brought in, and Joe Brady chose the Bills over other spots to be the succession plan for if and when Ken Dorsey left. Like, they put those succession plans in place. So, I don't know.
I don't think it was a bad hire. I get we're all mixed on it here. Bills Mafia is mixed, but I think it was I'll be honest with you. I thought it was a smart decision by the Bills. I really did. I thought a guy that knew Josh Allen, right? He knew his tendencies, he knew his strengths, what he liked, what he didn't like. Like, I was a little nervous in having a new guy come in and just kind of mess that up. I figured Dorsey would bring that Daboll system in and be a little bit more creative, actually, and bring his own spin to it. And it just never happened.
No, that's the problem. It got super conservative.
It got dull. It was weird, though. It got even more conservative this season.
Yeah.
I thought it was decent last year. Y'all can say what you want, but we weren't like this last year. We were at least were scoring. I mean, yeah, a little bit down the stretch, but nothing like this. I do not know what happened this year, and that's why I kind of feel like McDermott had his hand on this a little bit, because how could you go from last year for being, I would say he was a good OC. I'm not going to say average, because we were second in scoring, guys. We were third overall. Like, that's not bad. So I can't say he was average when you're second in scoring, third overall. So, but I think this year, what happened? Like, it just totally, like, he went away from a lot of the things he did last year. And it was almost like McDermott's like, yo, let's pull all that back and let's just concentrate on this. And it was, I don't know. I would love, Mikey, I would absolutely love to hear interviews later on by some of these coaches, why they left. Like, I really would hope so. Like, just everyone. Kelly, the wide receiver coach. I know Frazier did an interview recently. Did a podcast on why what happened, what went down.
Mhm.
I would love to hear Dorsey's side of it, though. You probably never will.
Nope.
But I would absolutely wish I could hear it. You know what I mean? Maybe years later you will. But man, I would love
it'll have to be once they leave the business, because you don't talk about stuff like
that's
that.
what I mean. Like
Because
when
it
when
burns
you're done.
bridges. Yeah.
Right. I'm talking about when you're done. Like if he's out, if he's through
Well,
with whatever.
Frazier just had an interview, and he talked about the reason why. He just talked about it, and he said, he wasn't fired. He said he wanted time off. That's why he left.
He didn't want to go through the grind again, basically.
Yeah.
The whole.
Yeah. And he said, I need, at my age and how hard last year was, he wasn't prepared for it.
And that's fine.
So let me ask you this. Do you think he comes back?
No.
Do you think he doesn't come back because you think we're going to fire McDermott?
I think he doesn't come back because I don't think he comes back because he's gonna like want another opportunity somewhere else, like all the other coaches that have been leaving Buffalo. And I think he sees this Dorsey firing, by the way, because they're friends. Like I see this even more, him not wanting to come back, going, okay, I can't be that guy. Like I'm not going to be the scapegoat. If McDermott keeps wetting the bed, and now he's going to point at me. Like I'm going to come back, right? Let's say he comes back and it doesn't work out. Let's say McDermott's still out coach. Frazier comes back, and let's just say that the team's not playing well. That they could point the finger right back at Frazier and be like, "Oh, Frazier came back. Look at this team." So he doesn't want that. You know what I mean? So why would he come back here? So no, he'll have an opportunity somewhere else, probably as a defensive coordinator, maybe even have a head coach. Who knows? But I don't see him coming back here. We'll see we'll see what McDermott even does next offseason. Anyways, he may want to continue doing what he's doing and be the defensive coordinator. I have no idea.
It'll be interesting. Roy says, when Dorsey's selling real estate in a few years, well, no, Dorsey won't sell real estate. Dorsey is before he got into the NFL and started doing that quarterback coach thing, he was actually an assistant administrator, athletic director or whatever at a college.
Yeah, he's a smart guy, bro.
Like at UCF or something like that.
He's actually really like.
He was on the admin. He was on the admin side, and then they talked him. He got talked into coming to Carolina.
He's a super smart. Like he has a football mind. He just, but that doesn't necessarily mean you could be a good, coach or a good offensive coordinator, like whatever. Like I said, like everyone has their limit, like what they're good at, and maybe he's just not an OC. Maybe he's a better teacher. Like, and that's why he was a quarterback coach. That's why he helped out Newton Allen.
He could be a fine offense coordinator. Maybe it just didn't work here.
I think
how many times have Norv Turner been fired?
I agree.
He's one of the greatest ever.
But maybe Norv Turner also had, like you said, too. Maybe he's been around. He also was around a little while, had a little bit more experience.
Like Dable got fired 4 times before
Dable was fired all over the fucking place. But but he also had more experience in the NFL in general. I think Dorsey, I agree with you in a way. Like I think what I'll say about Dorsey is what would benefit him if he wants to get back to being a coordinator is to go back to maybe being a quarterback coach again or something like that, or an assistant coach, and then just kind of learn a little bit more about what he's doing. And then maybe even college, maybe even go to college, the college route, and just get better at your craft, and then try to come back and do that thing. You know what I mean? I'm sure he'll get another shot.
Where he might end up? He might end up with the Giants because Dable wanted him to be the offensive coordinator, and he chose to stay here. So that's when they went out and got their other offensive coordinator. And with as bad as the Giants season happening, they might be canning their offensive coordinator.
You never know. You're right.
Yeah, Roy. I knew it was a joke. I just wanted to throw out some Dorsey knowledge of what he was doing before he became a thing. Dude's super smart. He is. He's super smart. It just sucks that it couldn't work here. I had high hopes for him.
I know. Me too, dude.
I really did.
Yeah. Ain't nobody had more high hopes than me, bro.
No, yeah, he's easier. He's your you guy.
I mean, I was preaching for that dude to take OC over in 2021. Like I was so ready. I figured just because everything I heard, but it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Just like every other coach that gets fired around the league. There's a lot. Head coaches, coordinators. Like we're not the only team with problems sometimes with coaching. So it is what it is, man. Next guy up, and that's Joe Brady. So let's see what Joe Brady can bring to the table. I will say this about Joe Brady, at least, over what Ken Dorsey did. He has a little bit more experience as far as being an OC. He was an OC, for almost a couple years, Carolina. He also had more NFL, assistant with the Saints. Then he was with LSU and had, he won a championship. Though Ken Dorsey won one as a player, but it's different, I think, as a coach. So he kind of, I would say I'm a little bit more comfortable with him. Is he about the same age as Ken Dorsey? He looks young.
Who?
Brady.
I think he's younger than Brady because he was at William and Mary in 2012.
Let's see.
2000, because he was an assistant with the Saints, and then he went to college for a year, and then he came back to the NFL. So he hasn't been. He progressed very quickly in the sport.
He was born in '89.
Okay, so
Joe Brady. So Ken Dorsey.
I was born in '80, and I'm 43. So
Ken Dorsey was born in '81.
Yeah, so they're 7 years apart. 8 years apart.
Yes.
Okay.
So I mean, but my point is, he's a younger coach. I mean, he's definitely a younger coach. So we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what Brady's scheme looks like. I mean, he has a tough defense to go up to this week. That Jets defense. Say what you want. The Jets are 4-5, and they're 4-5 because of that defense.
Oh, absolutely. They might have won 1 or 2 games if it wasn't for that defense. So I agree. I think they're the best defense in the NFL. I think they're the youngest. I think they're the fastest. I think they tackle the best. I think they play for their coach. Like, you know what I mean? Like certain players don't play for, like they play for that coach.
Saleh brings that energy that hypes them up, which I'm hoping that's what Joe Brady brings. As Connor's saying, did you guys see Joe Brady was running routes with the players and dancing and hype them up? That's what we want to get that offense back to, is having fun. When they're free and having fun is when you see the best version of them. And maybe that's what was missing was the juice. I love Dorsey, but I never looked at him as a juice guy.
Yeah, he was
he was very.
He was odd. He had his moments where he was hyper, slamming tablets and shit. Like,
but that was more angry than.
No, I know, but he wasn't. But you are right. Like, outside of that, he seemed just more like
Daboll had fun.
I don't know,
and he would joke and had a really good personality, and maybe that's what the offense was missing, is just someone.
Dorsey was a little flat. Probably,
Yeah.
But you're right. He's out there. Listen, I saw him out. I saw the video today with Brady running the routes, wearing shorts in the cold. He's a Florida guy.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, man, that's all fine and dandy. I gotta see it on Sunday, man. Like, and I hope this offense does go back to having fun, being what they were. Obviously, we all do, but. This is the test. Here it is, man. I mean,
there is zero margin for error left. Zero.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to go 7-0 to make the playoffs. I think there's an outside shot if we go 4-3, but we really need to go 5. Well, think about it. The Cleveland is 6-3 right now. They just lost their starting quarterback.
I get it. Yeah.
Cincinnati just lost their quarterback. They were at 5-5.
Yeah,
the Raiders are coming off of,
and they're going to lose to the Dolphins. I don't see that.
It's one of those things of they have the juice from the new head coach, so we'll see how they finish out.
Right, right.
So when you start looking at the guy, a lot of the teams in front of us,
Pittsburgh, right? Or is Pittsburgh in the division?
Pittsburgh's 6-3 right now, and they're not. They are leading the division. No, they're not.
No, okay.
No.
Who's on the division? Who's on the Pittsburgh?
Isn't Baltimore is?
Is it Baltimore?
Damn. Yeah, and they're 8-3. Pittsburgh is 6-3 right now, but Pittsburgh is 6-3 because of their defense. At some point, the defense isn't going to be able to win them games. That offense hasn't been doing much.
Man, 4 wins though. I think 10 is your.
I do agree. Also, I said there's an outside shot with 4-3 down the stretch.
Yeah.
However, after this week, we go at Philly.
It's a gauntlet.
At Kansas City, home against Dallas,
I know.
Chargers. So we need to get this
Patriots
win to
is right. This is it. I agree. Listen, here's the deal. If we're gonna be somewhat optimistic, like if we win,
Trek. We'll end up between 5 and 12 and 7 and 10. Yikes! He doesn't think.
So listen, here you go, Mike.
Any help?
If, and there's a big if, because I don't trust this team anymore. If we win Sunday, and we win convincingly, meaning our offense actually looks good, which I don't know, right?
They haven't.
Then I could,
in like 3 years.
I know, but I'm just saying. I will say this: I will feel much better moving forward. And I might bring back hey, it's not, like, in my mind, it's not over. But if they just barely win or they lose, obviously it's a wrap, right? For me, at least. Like, I'll stick to my guns and that's it. So it starts Sunday. They have to win that, in my opinion. It's another AFC game. It's another AFC East game. You win that, it's a start. Like, it's a start to something. And it could bring that spark, especially if you play well. It's like, I'll take you back to, like I said, the Tampa game. But we lost that one, but there was a spark that happened, and boom, we went on the roll. If I consider this a spark game, right? If we can win, and we win good, and we get on, and we feeling good, and the players are having fun again after the game, and we just feel like energized, then it's very possible this team can go on a roll. Very possible. Because you're beating a really good defensive team. You look good doing it. Then I could say, hey, I feel more confident against the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Chargers, right? The Dolphins, week 18. Like, so we'll see. But it starts Sunday, Mikey. It has to. Like, we'll see what Joe Brady's all about.
Yep.
Oh, real quick. I want to ask you, because I didn't see it yet. Who do they name quarterback coach?
They haven't.
Okay, so
probably the assistant quarterback coach that was there.
And I know that Joe Brady hasn't said if he's going to be in the box or on the field. Where would you like him?
I would like him on the field. I would like Shula to be in the box and Brady to be on the field.
So I got mixed opinion a little bit on that. One, I always like my coaches. I don't know why in the box, because I feel like they can hear better, they can see better, right? They could talk to their coaches next, because there's a lot of coaches in that room that are telling them things. But at the same time, I kind of feel like on the field, you're with the players, you could talk more, you can get in there. You know what I mean? Like there's a give and take there. So I will say this: I'm curious if they almost let Brady, at least this week, kind of be because if he's on the field doing OC, I wonder if he's going to be the quarterback. Like,
no,
because he's going to be.
Triggs and a bunch of them came in and said Mike Shula was named the quarterback's coach.
Oh, is he? Okay. So that makes sense. So I wonder who's going to be in the box or who's upstairs. So
here's the reason why because it's week 1, and I don't care if he goes up and down and he mixes it up. I think the first week he needs to be down on the field with the guys.
With the guys.
Not just with Josh, but with Diggs and Davis.
Yeah, I got you. With the team.
So he can look him in his eyes, see what's going on, and fix like in-game adjustments as they go. Up in the box, you have to have good communication. Shula and Josh have never really been in the same room like that. So I want Shula up top relaying what he's seeing down to Brady.
I'll tell you what,
Brady Collin.
If he's going to stay, if we play well, then just keep him downstairs.
Yeah.
Keep him on the field.
Listen, he brings that energy that is needed, from what you can see. I want him on the field with Diggs so he can pull all his offense.
No, I got you.
Together to have a conversation.
Yeah, when shit's not going well.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I totally understand. I'm just saying, like, I guess if he was our OC for a little bit, I would want him in a box. How about that? Like, remember when was it Frazier? Who was it? Dable or Frazier that used to? It was Dable, and I couldn't wait for Dable to get in the box.
He was on the sideline at first, and he used to grill Josh, and then he moved up.
Yeah, I hated it, bro. And I think Frazier was on the field initially too, and he went in the box and after a while. Like, so we'll see. We'll see how it works. But you're right. I think his first game, at least, he should be on the field. I think you have a good point. Be with your team, your offensive players. because it's going to be a tough one. This is a tough one. I think he's going to need to be there when things aren't going right.
Yes, Ben. When we talk about the playoffs, like it's still early. We have to get a win, dude. We haven't got a decent win since the Miami game. Like our 2 wins were just like last play lucky wins.
Yeah, garbage
wins, So let's see the offense go out and actually produce. Like, listen, and I'm not saying they have to go out and score 40 points against this Jets team. What I'd like to see is some clean freaking football. I'd like to see some motion, some misdirections. Punting is not a horrible thing, but get a couple first downs and get guys moving and, get Josh under center, do some play action.
Right. Clean it up. Clean up the mistakes as well, man. That goes on the players, but just go out there, have some fun. I want to see that juice again from the team, from the offense, them having fun and just not everything seemed to be so hard going down the field. Everything, it just seemed, like I said, from the beginning of this season, it seemed like every drive was a mission.
It was so hard. Everything was so hard all the time. This is a great comment from Scott. Do you know what the difference of a wild stallion and a pony is at the county fair? Well, Dorsey eating cotton candy while Brady goes and opens up the barn.
Yeah.
I hope so. I mean, the way Brady was talking, he's talking a good game of letting Josh go out and be Josh again. Let's hope that's really what they do. Tell Josh, if you look at your first, your second, if you don't see it and you got the lane, go.
Right.
Just remember to get down. You don't have to run over and jump over guys. You can still get down, but just go.
Cover One, by the way, Cover One did a really good video on, whose fault really was it, Dorsey or the like Allen or whatever, or the playmakers. And it was mixed. I gotta say. So to be fair, guys, and I know a lot of us, because we do want to do the point the finger thing, and it's always that way, right? We pointed at one guy for the most part. But I will say, a lot of the time, man, watching their video, their breakdown, Allen missed a ton. Allen missed guys wide open. Allen could have went different reads. But that goes, guys I'm just saying, I know that, but I'm just throwing this out what they're saying.
Every play has guys that are open.
I know, but he also made poor decisions on double. He was throwing the play first week they showed the Jets game was an interception. And my God, Mikey, he had a wide open. It was a 3rd and 8, I think. 3rd and 10, something. Bro, he had a wide open field to run when he ran out. Remember, he ran to his left, scrambled out, wide open, bro. He had field way ahead of him, and he could have took that. And he chose to just throw it. So some of the decisions this year is just really weird. And then, of course, the players, like dropping the ball. They did talk about Allen's touch, that he needs to work on that a little bit too. Like, there's no reason to rifle a ball in there every single time.
Yeah, and I've noticed some of them because I've gone back and looked at it a little bit too. Allen seems to be rifling it in because he's late on the throws.
That makes sense.
He's so he has a smaller window, so he's throwing it harder because he's late on getting back to that. And as Trick says here, Allen's second guessing a lot and he's overthinking.
Oh my God!
So he sees it. He doesn't just release it. He sees it, looks again, and then goes. And by that time, the windows are closed, so he has to throw it harder at them to get through the window. And a lot of it's that too. It's because Josh had great touch last year.
He did. Well, they were talking about that too. Like the difference is, it's crazy. Like
he's second guessing everything.
I said it too. If you look at even when he takes off,
the touchdown run this last week.
I told you it was like almost like he paused, like he was second guessing himself. And I'm like, Josh, that probably was the play. What are you doing? Like, you have it. It's there. There's no need to. What are you even looking to pass it for? There's a wide open field there for you for the time. Why would you slow down and pause? Like, and bro, really, the guy was gonna get there. Like, a little bit slower, he would have got caught. So it's like the difference is, I feel like Josh with this year is like too much going on in his head, and maybe he just wants to always do the right thing instead of just going with his instinct and either taking off, he's gonna run, or making that pass. Just listen, it is what it is. If it's turn, I'll take it. But I'll take that over him and then second holding, and then making a bad decision because now you have to get rid of it because you waited so long because you weren't so sure about yourself. And he never used to do that, bro. This when he did that 2018, his rookie year, is when he was hesitant and kind of nervous. Not
with running. Not with
running. I'm talking about passing.
But he's doing that running now as well.
No, I'm running now. I don't. Yeah, that's odd. That's really odd. And that might go. By the way, that might go back to the first week too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying it might. Where he's just like, oh, I don't want to take off because coach. They
just like buried him. The coaches like buried him.
Absolutely buried him.
So since then, it seems like he's just been, second guessing everything,
right?
As he doesn't want to make a mistake, and it compounds the problems. Rory comes in and says Gabe Davis will be a Pro Bowler in KC next season. Not unless he fixes his hands, he won't. Gabe Davis has a drop problem. Career-wise, he's barely above 50% catch rate.
Right.
He has a lot of talent. He's limited on his route running, and he has, sketchy hands. He'll make the most beautiful catch, but then drop the easiest catch. The Dawson Knox syndrome is what.
Yeah, he's weird. Yeah, they both got that. I don't get it, man.
Yeah, Dallas. If Josh Allen can find the Josh Allen of last year, even last year, I have a feeling we have a really good shot at making the playoffs. And if we don't make the playoffs, it won't be the offense's fault down the stretch. Because say what you want, our special teams is a freaking problem right now.
I know, bro. And that goes back to the one. It goes back to the coaching.
Yeah. We're only talking about the offense, but our special teams has been a problem for weeks. Giving up bad field position.
Absolutely. Bad. Like our punter turned. What happened to him?
He just started kicking line drives all of a sudden.
Awful punts lately. Like, after that one game against Tampa, it's like he's just been terrible. Our special teams tackling, terrible as well, letting big returns happen over and over. 12 men on the field, obviously. We lost the game because of that. I mean, that was part of the reason. I want to backtrack. That wasn't the full reason. We should have never came down to that. But either way, we still have the opportunity, and there's 12 fucking men on the field. Also, ridiculous. Yes, the defense is depleted, many injuries. I get it. They're doing their best they can, and I give them credit for what they're doing. However, Sean McDermott, once again, and this defense fails in the worst moments. And it's been like that since forever. And it's like we've had opportunities this year, guys, against teams like the Patriots, against this last game, or against the Bengals, where we could have made a stop against Denver. And we didn't. And it didn't happen. And that's all on McDermott. Now, mind you, the players as well, but McDermott is in charge. So the defense, for as good as they've been playing, down the stretch, though, when it counts the most, they let us down as well. So it isn't just the offense as well. You know what I mean? Like, I think everybody is taking a part of why this team is 5-5. Yeah. But I would say the offense is the bigger reason why. You know what I mean? If that's safe to say, you know what I'm saying? But I think everybody hasn't really been playing that well, including special teams and defense. So, they got to all play better. Like, this is it, Mikey. 7 games. You got to play your best fucking ball. There is no game here down the stretch where we can lose one. You know what I mean? Like, my point is we got to play our best. Even if you lose, I want it to be at least we were fucking in a close game against Philly or the Chiefs. Like, I want it to be a battle, like not just us looking like ass. Like, we have to play our best ball, basically, down the stretch. 7 games are our best. We have to. There's no other way.
Oh, no, I get that. Until I see us win a game, I'm going to say the chances of us making the playoffs are
slim. Absolutely.
Until I see us do something.
I told you, I can't be truly optimistic until I see something from them, and that starts Sunday. I have to see something. And I get it. It sucks. It's such a quick turnaround from changing offensive coordinators, but who cares? I don't give a fuck anymore. I need change. I need to see something. I'm tired of excuses. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tired of the press conference, the same old bullshit. I'm tired of Josh Allen's same crap. I got to play better. It's on me. Like, I I don't want to, like, nobody cares anymore. We want to see you win. We want to see a change. We want to see a difference. And it's been week after week with the same, oh, I can't turn. I know I can't turn the ball. I know, same thing, same thing. McDermott, same thing. Same old excuses.
Roy, I appreciate you taking the other side of it for 24 hours.
Yeah.
He's only been credited 3 drops, but he has more than 3 drops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just it's sad that we're here.
I would absolutely.
I wonder if
I would absolutely, not now because they paid. I'm just saying, if I'm an NFL team though, and you got punter problems, I am shocked that they haven't called him, because that dude, listen, he deserves to be back in the NFL. He deserves another opportunity. He's bro. That's a guy that will, if you're pinned back to the 10 or 5 yard line, he will boot that bitch 80 yards.
Field position.
Right. So, absolutely. Listen, if the Saints can have, what's the guy's name that plays tight end quarterback?
Taysom Hill.
Right. And he's basically, let's be honest, he's like a
running back,
guy.
Quarterback, receiver, tight end, does everything.
Why couldn't we have Ariza as our special team punter only on or back to the 10, right? We just bring him out to boot at 80 yards and that's all we use him for, right? That would be epic. Like the Bills re-sign Matt Ariza only for long kicks. All right, we're back in our end zone, Matt. Just punt at 85 yards for us, please.
Yeah. Oh, God. Punt guy needs to shuffle off to Buffalo. I would love to see him back in Buffalo.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. It'd be a good story. He deserves it, man. And his story, they don't talk about anymore, but it's a tragedy. Like, we're not going to totally get into it now, but I feel like that is a real tragedy for a guy. Because if that was any other position, I think he would be back in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
But I think he's a punter. I think they don't give a shit. Let's be real. And it sucks. I feel bad for that kid.
There's so many punters out there that people bring in.
I just feel bad for him. Yeah, it's terrible.
It's what happened to him is terrible overall.
Yep.
It sucks. I was looking to see, because I think we signed Sam Martin to like a 2 or 3 year contract.
Yeah, we did. We did in the offseason. It was one of our first. I think he was like one of our first signings or extensions or whatever.
Because he was really good last year. He was not been real good this year.
No, there was games he's been good, but he's had some bad fucking games, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm just looking here. Oh, we can get out of it after this year.
Okay.
I'm just looking at it.
Yeah.
It's a 3-year deal that can we could get out after this year.
Okay.
With relatively small amount of dead cap.
Okay. Hey, maybe you see Punt God back. Who knows?
I doubt it. Like he went into the Jets. He was on the practice squad for the Jets during training camp, but no one.
I know nothing happened. Yeah. Hey, you never know though. You never know.
I wouldn't mind seeing him back. I mean, the dude can definitely change field position.
Yeah. Yep.
I wanted to see what it was. Sam Martin right here. Okay. So we cut. Would be what? So we'd save 1.2 if we cut him at the end of the year.
Yeah, but then you have to sign a rise on, which, by the way, he'd probably be a cheap deal.
He'd probably be, he'd probably be league minimum.
Right. So just throwing that out there, guys. He'd probably be a cheap deal and a good story. Believe it or not, it would bring attention to the Bills.
Well, there's a $5 million coupon the second offseason hits, and that's Nyheim Hines.
That's interesting too.
Because he's, we can cut him and save $5 million.
I would cut him. There's no reason to keep him around.
So.
No reason to cut. So, Mikey, let's get to a touchy subject. Stephon Diggs and Trayvon Diggs. What do you feel about his press conference?
I thought he was about as open as he could have been around it. I wish he's really good at not saying nothing. He's really
but saying
not really saying
right,
nothing.
but hinting at something in a weird way.
Like he's like, I can't control what my brother says, you know, which he's not wrong. He can't. And the thing I think I liked the most about it was when he's like, doesn't matter if I'm happy here. Can anything be done about it?
Right.
Hinting at his contract doesn't he knows he can't go anywhere.
Right.
So it is what it is. Like, why? I've already addressed it. Now, he could have killed it by coming out and said, listen, there's nothing wrong with me and Josh. We're fine.
Right.
If it was me, I would have come out and said that.
Right.
However, I also saw a video the day after of Josh and Alan running around, playing around, having a good time. So I don't really think there is any issues between the two.
I get it, but it's a story that could have died right there if you just like, for me, and I said this on the video I did today, how I would have handled it. What I would have said, look, Trayvon's my brother. I love the dude. I have no say in what he does. Like, he's a grown ass man. He could write and say and do as he feels. But I have no, like, Josh is my dude. He's my quarterback. I love Josh Allen. He's always been there for me, and I'm always going to be there for him. He's my quarterback. And that's that. Like he could have left it at that. What can anyone say at that point? All right, hey, Stephon Diggs loves the quarterback. I mean, good to go. You know what I mean? Like, you know, but he didn't say that. He kind of worked. He didn't even say anything about it. Matter of fact, he brought nothing up about it. So he just
said, I've already talked about this, because he did say that early in the year on the Voncast.
Well, no, but this was the tweet, though, was new as far as saying Josh was not.
I'm telling you how he's rational.
No, I know that, but I'm saying that I'm talking about the current tweet, which was Trayvon Diggs saying the quarterback would have been nothing if Stephon Diggs, my brother, wouldn't have been.
I know, I understand.
Right, so I'm just saying, like, that is new. I get what he said on the Voncast, but I'm just saying on that particular tweet, he could have at least said, "Hey, he has his feelings about it, but Josh is my guy," whatever. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's like this. I understand the whole brother thing. Like, he's your blood, and blood comes before anything. But Josh Allen, like, they always say it's a brotherhood in that locker room. Like, everybody, right? Like, when you're there, those are your brothers, right? And boy, your quarterback, who, by the way, has stuck up for Stephon Diggs since day one, right? Anything related news-wise that the media came and talked to Josh Allen, I felt like Josh Allen would be the first one to go, nah, man, Josh is my dude. Or Stephon's my guy. He's a great teammate. You know what I mean? Like, he's always stuck up for him. No matter what, he's always addressed it. Hey, no, there's no problem. Stephon's my guy. You know what I mean? Like, and I kind of feel like when it came to Stephon doing that, he didn't do that. And that's the only part. And by the way, I said it a while ago. I understand where Stephon's coming from, his frustrations. I get it. That part of him, I don't really particularly like. It's just like, you know what I mean? I just, for once, I would wish he would just say,
it's not who
I know it's not, but I
wish he would say that too.
Winning, by the way, changes everything.
Cures all. Cures all. Go out and win, and you're not going to have any problems.
And then you're going to see him fucking on another magazine cover. My brother, woo! You're gonna best friends forever.
Yeah. You're going to see him, Vaughn, and Josh on, like, Sports Illustrated, you know.
We're going to see Trayvon Diggs, Stephon Diggs, and Josh Allen all hanging out at the beach.
You know,
best friends.
After Trayvon just said that Josh Allen sucks, he's only good because of Steph.
Right.
Ransom Hatch comes in and says all these trade rumors going around. Stephon Diggs going to Dallas. Stephon Diggs can't be traded. It will cost us $39 million cap hit next year to trade him.
Yeah, it won't happen.
We don't have it. Josh Allen going to the Giants for 2 draft picks and players. Bunch of bullshit. Josh Allen isn't going anywhere.
No, absolutely not.
First off, from a contract perspective, we can't. But even if his contract was tradable, we wouldn't. You know, he's having a bad. That would be a really horrible year at that.
It would be the worst decision the Buffalo Bills, as an organization,
has ever made.
Period. And I would say the one before that was Rob Johnson playing in the playoff game over Doug Flutie. Like, to me, like, that one sticks out, but that was a game. That was a playoff game. That wasn't a trade away your player. You know what I mean? Like, dude, Mikey, I got to say, I was so fucking angry Like dude, Mike, you have no idea. I was so angry that playoff game when we started Rob Johnson.
I know.
And do you know how angry I would be if we traded Josh Allen? Do you know the video there would be so many F-bombs.
I'll be perfectly honest with you.
I would lose my
I would have a hard time watching the Bills if they traded Josh Allen. I'd be so mad at them. I'd have a hard time watching them.
Dude, you have no idea. Like, I would freak out, guys. So you don't want that. That won't happen. Because listen, you guys worry about the 17-year drought if we get rid of McDermott. You get rid of Allen, there it is. We're back to drought. Because it's very, very difficult to find a franchise quarterback. You guys know this. It took us a long freaking time. You really want to play that game again? Hell no. I'm good. I'll stick with Josh Allen.
Yeah, Justin. And also, the year before Diggs got here, Josh took us to the playoffs with Beasley and Brown. So it wasn't like, but again,
absolutely.
That's he's, I guess he feels like he needs to stick up for his brother. I don't know why he felt he needed to take shots at Josh, but he also told his own quarterback he's a effing P and can't do crap. So little Diggs is a little bit off his rocker.
Right. Whatever. He can feel how he wants to feel.
Yep. Because at the end of the day, he's not in our locker room. I don't give a crap how he feels.
Right. He almost was. He should have been. Except he got picked up a couple picks before we had our Dallas scooped him up.
No, Dallas. It will cost to trade him. It will cost us $3 million on top of what his cap hit next year would be.
No, trust me, guys. He's not.
He can't.
He's locked in.
And Diggs knows it. He said it in his press conference. He's like, even if I was mad, is there anything to be done about it? No. Hinting at his contract.
Right. He knows. He signed it, guys.
Diggs was a really good receiver.
I agree with
the elite potential was always there, but getting paired with Josh Allen made him a superstar.
Absolutely. Like that's the thing that Trayvon's not understanding either. Like, I understand, once again, he sees his brother as his bigger brother, and like he's always going to see him as the best, wide receiver he's ever seen. You know what I mean? Because that's how brothers look at each other like that. But let's be real here, Trayvon. He was good in Minnesota, but he wasn't great in Minnesota like he is here. He wasn't elite status. He wasn't making top 100 in the top 15. He was on the very back end of it. So Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs helped each other's career out. Let's be really real here. So I don't know where he missed that. Because if you really want to go, like, I would love to have the conversation with Trayvon, because I would be like, hey, Trayvon, you know a guy named John Brown? Well, I'm going to tell you about John Brown. He never had a 1,000-yard season until he became a Buffalo Bill. And in 2019, he got his first 1,000 he ever had, 1,050. First time ever. So, you know what I mean? Did John Brown make Josh Allen better? Or did Josh Allen make John Brown what he was when he was in Buffalo? Absolutely.
Josh Allen made Cole Beasley all-pro.
And there's that was the other one I was going to tell you. Cole Beasley was okay in Dallas.
He was a good slot receiver.
He was okay to good. Yeah, but he wasn't what he was in Buffalo.
No.
So we can sit here, and like I said, I could have said the same thing. I could go on Twitter and be like, oh, John Brown, John Brown was never anything until but I wouldn't do that. But I'm just saying, I could say the same thing. So, like, he doesn't know what he's talking. Like, that's a shitty comment to say. You know what I mean? So I just don't understand it. Like I said, if Stephon Diggs was the man prior to coming here, and Josh Allen was just terrible and didn't make anything of anyone, then I would say, okay, you know what? Okay, maybe he has some merit there, but he doesn't. Like, Josh Allen made other guys stars as well. Yeah. Cole Beasley, John Brown. So
Ransom Hashimson says it said that you would get the first overall pick in this year's draft coming up. The draft picks in the three first rounds next year. Oh, and the draft picks in the first round next year from the Giants plus 3 players would be mentioned in the trade. Here's the thing. If you got the first overall draft pick, who are you taking? You're probably taking Caleb Williams, right? What are you hoping Caleb Williams turns into I hope he turns into Josh Allen. Why the hell, if you have Josh Allen, why the hell would you trade Josh Allen?
Right.
That makes zero sense. It's not like Josh Allen's old either.
Right.
He's hitting his prime right now.
He's established in the NFL.
You
you never know, guys. Like Caleb, he looks good, but he had a couple bad games this year too against better teams. So like you never know what's going to happen in the NFL. Like these guys all look really, really elite at times, and they come in the NFL.
So does Sam Darnold at USC. Sam Darnold looked like the next coming.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of guys, a lot of quarterbacks that come out in the draft look to be legit. They just can't catch on. Like Vince Young was bro. Vince Young, watching him in Texas, Mikey, bro, that guy was fucking unbelievable. That championship game was one of the best I've ever seen. Vince Young was an animal. Gets in the NFL, not so good. So.
Although I think Vince was before his time. I think Vince would have succeeded in today's NFL. With how creative they're being.
Maybe, but I don't know that because he's obviously. But remember, he was here for a hot second.
Yeah, I want no part of Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is saying he may not even come out. What that tells me is he doesn't want.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Like, that's a risky move, though.
I don't
want a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't want a guy who doesn't want to be in the league.
Yeah, it's a risky move, though.
He's the
I got to
CEO.
be honest.
He's the face of your franchise.
Yeah.
All right, so let's hop into the injury reports, Tommy.
Yeah.
For the Jets, Dwayne Brown's still out. He was opened. They opened his window to come back. He's not going to be playing this week.
Okay.
Billy Turner, who's been playing right tackle for them, is out. So they'll be kicking somebody new out to right tackle. Will McDonald and Garrett Wilson are both questionable. I bet they both play, but they're going to be banged up playing.
All right.
John Franklin Myers, Quincy Williams, and Mekhi Becton are all good to go for this week. On the Buffalo side, we have nobody that's out.
Oh,
we have Jordan Phillips knee and Trent Sherfield ankle, both questionable. I'll be perfectly honest. I want to see Jordan Phillips take the week off and put Poona Ford in there. Because if he has a knee injury, I don't need to have him go down in the middle of the game and us be light on defensive tackles.
Yeah, I'd be good with that as well.
I want Poona to get more playing time. So go ahead and sit Jordan this week. Sherfield, if he plays, he plays. If he doesn't, he doesn't. He doesn't do a whole lot for us anyways. They haven't figured out a way to use him yet.
Right.
Will play. Christian Benford will be back. Micah Hyde will be back. Cam
so
Lewis
do you think
with
Benford coming back, do you think that puts Douglas on the bench, or do you think Douglas is Douglas and Benford
starts.
now?
I think honestly, this week, I think it's going to be Douglas and Jackson
to start because they're easing Benford in with the hamstring. Could be tricky.
Yep. I think Benford becomes the primary backup this week. And then possibly back to starting next week.
That makes sense.
It would make listen, I don't want to see Benford run back out there and then instantly have to,
I agree, and
I need him ready for next week against the Eagles.
Hamstrings are tricky too.
Yep.
Micah Hyde, seeing him coming back is good. Thank God. Neck. Last thing we want to hear, right?
Yeah.
Neck injury,
but it had nothing to do with his surgery. They said.
No, I know.
Stinger,
yeah,
nice to see that.
Stinger. Fucking cheap ass hit that dude took on him.
Josh Allen off the injury report. He was put back on the injury report today. And I think the reason why he was put back on the injury report was because what happened with Joe Burrow and the NFL.
Right.
I really think that's the reason why he went back on the injury report.
That might make sense. Yeah, because I heard that report as well.
That
they're looking into that.
Yeah. Minnesota.
They ain't taking no chances. Taking no chances.
Allen's back on the Allen is back on the report. So
let's put him back on just in case. We don't want to get that fine.
Yeah. Tricks called it too. He also thinks it's because of what's going on with the putting him on the report doesn't hurt you at all. Just adding his name there,
Right. It's right. Nobody gives a shit. He's gonna play. We all know that.
But seeing these guys back on defense, seeing Micah Hyde back is the big one. Because he's our captain back there. He's the guy who's the linchpin in the secondary. So I thought Rasul Douglas played well last week. I I'll be really interested to see how he plays this week. Is he going to continue to get more comfortable in this scheme as he goes? I thought Russell Douglas was a great trade, and hopefully we go out there, we get this W, and it starts to get us back in gear to have strong down the stretch, us sneaking the playoffs. I don't care how we get in, just get in, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it starts this Sunday, like I said.
Yeah.
Looking at some fun highlights.
McDermott doesn't run engage 8s on multiple plays in a row again.
Right. Blitzing back to back plays.
Run cover 0 on back-to-back plays. That was what Miami was doing against us, and we kept torching them. Why the hell? Dumb. So dumb. Just gave the game away.
Oh, man.
So, all right, Tommy, about that time.
Prediction
time, brother.
It's
prediction time, brother.
I used to love this time, and now I hate this time because I want to predict such good things for the Bills. It's like never comes true anymore when I predict the good things. So, God. Okay. All right. It's in Buffalo. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. Yeah. Okay. The Jets offense sucks ass. Okay. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. Their defense is unbelievable. That's a bad thing. All right. So I'm going to go. And their offense has been really sucking lately. But we got Joe Brady, who's mixing some potions together. And I also saw a wink today from McDermott talking about Allen having fun. That he sees Allen having fun again. And there was a little wink he did. Almost like saying, hey, he's back, baby. So because of that wink, I'm going to have the Bills looking good on offense. Because that wink by McDermott told me everything I need to know, guys. So my prediction is going to be 27-10 Buffalo. 27-10 Buffalo Bills. They get back on track. By the way, that's good. That's a really good score against the Jets. So
that's funny because mine's close to that. I have it.
Really?
I have it 24-13.
Okay.
And I think the 24. I really do. I think the 24 would be a solid number against the Jets.
Absolutely.
And I do think we give up a touchdown to the Jets and they break the streak because that's just what we do.
Right.
And then we give up 2 field goals.
And it might even come on a defensive touchdown.
However,
it's not even an offensive touchdown, right?
It may. Honestly, I think it's going to be or a punt return or something like that. How they get their touchdown? I don't know. But I think it's going to be close at halftime, and then in the second half we find a way to put it away.
Okay.
Yeah. People also tend to forget when they say he's a turnover machine. He also leads the league in touchdowns. He's a touchdown machine too. Why would you trade away a touchdown machine?
Right.
And at the end of the day, I'll take the touchdown machine and the turnover machine as one over a guy who could possibly be a turnover machine, and we don't know what he is offensively.
Right.
Yes, he leads the league in turnovers. He also leads the league in touchdowns, and his touchdowns outweigh his turnovers.
Yeah.
So people always tend to forget to add that piece to it when they talk about him being a turnover machine. He's a walking touchdown machine.
Yep.
Josh Allen's not a turnover machine. Some of the interceptions were tip balls. Yeah, it's not just tip balls. They're just unlucky. Most of his if you go off of PFF, and I'm not a huge PFF person, but if you go off of what PFF says, they have a turnover worthy play rate. He has the same turnover worthy play rate that CJ Stroud has. CJ Stroud's praised for only throwing 2 picks this year. Josh Allen's considered a turnover machine, and they have the same ones. He's been unlucky on some of them. Some of them are just really bad decisions, like last week when he threw the second pick. That was just a bad decision.
Right. I agree with that. Yeah.
There was a pick against the Jags where Stephon Diggs had the ball in his hands and he let the guy take it from him.
Yeah.
the line. I watched a linebacker last night hit the ball up and it landed in the receiver's hands and he ran. Against the Giants, we threw one. It hit the ball. The linebacker got his hand up. It went up in the air and the guy picked it. Like it's just bad luck.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, Mahomes and Hurts have 8. Yeah, you know, like there's a lot of interceptions going on this year.
Yeah, there is. There's absolutely a lot of turnovers by top quarterbacks.
A lot of good defense going on this year too, though.
There is.
There really is. Like the Chiefs offense isn't the normal Chiefs offense. You know, outside of Miami, which has a really high-powered offense, there's not really many high-powered offenses. Like even the Eagles haven't had great offense at times. You know,
right?
It's the Lions and the Dolphins are like the 2 high-powered offenses. So,
yeah, unbelievable. The Lions, by the way, my God, like talk about I mean, I love that coach, man. Like I said, man, that dude plays to win. Yeah, dude. Like
Motor City, DC.
He plays to win, not to lose, man. That's now some of it I will say is he's a little crazy at times. He's a little out there at times.
I love that he goes for it. You know, he goes for the kill.
Absolutely.
He's not conservative at all. He just goes for the kill.
Yep, absolutely.
Puts trust in his guys. Whether they get it or not, he's fine with it. But he you know, if he realizes he has a chance to end the game, he'll do it.
Right.
Now he's not as wild as, you know, the Chargers coach, Staley. He'll go for it from his own freaking 20. He doesn't care. That's just dumb. You know, but if Campbell feels like they're in a situation they have a chance to put away the game, he's going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
C. Rose changed his prediction, 70-3. You know, Roy Bills 9-6 OT. All right. You know, listen, if we're winning 9-6 and we're kicking 3 field goals, I'll take that too, because that means we're not turning the ball over down in the red zone like we have been. Like we've been touchdown or nothing. Like Bass hasn't even been able to kick field goals lately because we've been turning the ball over when we get down there.
Mm-hmm.
So Staley grew up playing Madden, that's why. That's great spin. You know? Yeah. It's one of those things. All right, Tommy. So what's on deck for the rest of this weekend?
All right, guys. So tomorrow at 2:00 is Fantasy Kingdom. With Mikey and Howie, they'll go over all your fantasy football talk. You know, give you all the other you know, tips and all that. Who you want to sit and who do you want to trade and start, sit, trade, whatever you want to do. They'll be giving you that advice tomorrow at 2 p.m. And then at 6 p.m. is AFC East Shakedown. That will be on Jedi Sports Network. Their channel link is in my homepage. So that's at 6 p.m. I'll also tweet that out and also put it as a reminder on the YouTube channel. And then I will be a special guest on Nickel City Mafia at 8:30 Saturday night. So you want to, you know, if you guys want to tune in there, that'd be appreciated. Real quick, and I forgot to mention it. I feel bad now, guys. Nickel City Mafia has this thing going on, a charity event, Mikey, for it's a cancer thing. For I believe it's a mother and her son has cancer, and they're doing a charity event. So you want to tune into their channel. I think there are links there where you can donate and stuff like that. And they're having some kind of special show, I believe, next week. I'll know more details tomorrow, but go to Nickel City Mafia. They'll tell you more. It'll be on their page. But that's that for Saturday, and then Sunday we'll be doing the post-game show right after the Bills.
Yes, we will. And we'll be enjoying the big victory by the Bills. Back on track, man. Back on track, Tommy. Got to think positive. Right. Back on track, baby. Josh Allen and Diggs and those guys will be having fun.
That's right.
We'll see like with the stuff that's going on behind, guys jumping up and down, having a good old time.
Remember that wink I told you about?
Yeah.
From Sean McDermott. Okay. He winked. He said, Josh is back, baby. So let's see.
And maybe having Brady in that room, bringing the energy is going to help him. You know, tell him, don't worry about it. Just go play your game.
Right.
You need that energy back. You know, it's all about it. because that's one thing Dable had. He was full of energy, you know.
Right.
So let's hope.
All right.
All right, buddy.
All right, guys. So
I will
Bills
see you
Mafia
guys tomorrow, and then again on Sunday.
Bills Mafia, we love you, and as always, go Bills. We're out of
Go
here.
Bills.
Peace.